What's up, folks? Welcome back to TacticalTortoise. My name is Trevi, and it has finally happened. Battlescribe, the popular list-building app for miniature wargames of all shapes and sizes, including Warhammer 40,000, has been removed from the Apple iOS App Store. This comes after almost 18 months of abandonment from the software's developers, who have neglected to make any updates or perform any maintenance on it for over a year, and as a result was beginning to have compatibility issues with some devices. So this removal isn't wholly unexpected, but it's still very inconvenient for wargamers who do use Apple and iOS devices. For those who don't know, Battlescribe software is kind of the gold standard for army building and roster construction in many miniature gaming communities. It consists of two parts: the actual software itself, which has the application that you interact with when constructing and saving your lists, and the data files, which include the actual information that the software uses to construct and display your lists. So what does this abandonment mean for players? First off, it's important to note that the Battlescribe software has no official relationship with the contents of its data files, which are all community generated and organized. This means that while the core application is not being updated, your data files are still being taken care of by a group of absolute Chad heroes from the community who have dedicated a ton of time and energy into keeping those points values and rules up to date with the latest 40k updates. This is why that while you don't see any updates to the application itself, your rules and points values are still getting updated regularly. So all players, regardless of device, will still be able to get their rules data and points values in their app as long as the community support for it continues. However, if you are an iOS user, you will no longer be able to download the Battlescribe software from the App Store. This means that if you ever switch devices or accidentally delete your Battlescribe from your device, you will not be able to reinstall it. So maybe don't delete Battlescribe. If you use Battlescribe on a desktop computer or Android device, nothing has changed for you yet. Although you should be prepared for something to go wrong in the future, whether or not that's the app's removal from the Google Play Store, the abandonment of the Battlescribe.net website, or just an incompatibility issue with a new OS update sometime in the not-too-distant future. This means that it would behoove the community to search for a solution or an alternative software, but unfortunately, with as complex as Warhammer 40,000 is from a list design standpoint, a list-building solution is essentially required, and it's going to be pretty complex. And no real good alternative options exist for it at this time. While there's no doubt going to be a push towards using the official Warhammer app created by Games Workshop, that app is so full of rules inconsistencies and errors that it's not a great alternative to Battlescribe, which did have its problems and had some rules inconsistencies in it, but on the whole was generally pretty free of them. Battlescribe was unique in that it survived litigation by not being tied to the IPs that it served. The software itself just acted as a framework for community-generated content in those data files to be used. And so the contents of those data files was never actually tied to the developers. So finding a replacement system like that that's able to adapt to the complex structure of Warhammer 40,000 list building is going to be tough. And I think in the meantime, we're just going to have to cross our fingers and hope that the software isn't rendered entirely defunct. And maybe by the release of 40k's 10th edition, which all rumors have pointed to is upcoming, that we get a list building system that doesn't require a complex piece of software just to create an army list. Having a list construction system that is performable by an actual real human being would be pretty cool. Although given the competency of the 40k dev team over the course of 9th edition, I'm not 100% sure I would hold out hope for that. Anyway, that's all I had to say about this. Remember not to delete your Battlescribe files from your iOS devices, and be prepared for something similar to happen to Android devices sometime in the future. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. Big thanks to everybody who supports the channel, either over on Patreon at patreon.com/tacticaltortoise, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subscribers. All you people are friggin' sick. Remember to keep it classy, folks, and have happy wargaming.